Hello, friends. Anthony Floyer back with you once again here on the Zone 25 as we are now getting ready to do my WWE Money in the Bank 2014 recap video here on the Zone 25 on YouTube.com. Ridiculously over here with you one more time. Delighted to be here as always. Delighted to have you with us as well. Um, Originally, I was scheduled to join Michael Fletcher on his channel, Braves Fan 95, but due to technical difficulties beyond my control, I was unable to do that. So if you haven't seen Michael Fletcher's video, you can check out his channel, Braves Fan 95, right now. His video was up and running as we speak. So, and then of course, sometime tomorrow morning, Derek Ferreira will have his Money in the Bank recap video. As you know, he attended the event tonight at the TD Garden in Boston. He was there live. I can't wait to hear what he had to say about it. So, and then of course Michael Bullock, our other colleague on the Wrestling Forum. Well, he's not with us because he's on a family vacation. So yeah, it's just gonna be me. I'm flying solo here tonight. I didn't think I was gonna be doing that, but it is what it is. So, with that said, let's get into it. Of course, we all know Daniel Bryan started it off on the pre-show, talking about his first interview since being stripped of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship by the Authority a few weeks ago, and really wasn't what I expected. I didn't think he was going to be, still out, but he is. He's saying that he may need another surgery, and oh man, I mean, I just hope that he gets back sooner than later. So, my best go out to him. Hopefully, he'll be ready to go by SummerSlam, or maybe even be longer than that. So, there's nothing left to say here. Let's just move on to the main card. Of course, first match of the night, we had the Uso brothers going up against the Wyatt family members, Eric Harper and Luke Rowan. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, I'm sorry. Long night to say the very least. But anyways, this was for the tag team titles. Usos, winners and still champions. Yeah, this was a fantastic opening match, and this definitely was a tone setter, no pun intended. 3.5 to 3 3/4 stars. Fantastic match all around. Great action. Great near falls down the stretch. I mean, the fans were into it. I was into it. I told Michael Fletcher I was into it earlier. And then, yeah, a little surprised the Usos won this thing. I mean, I really didn't think they were going to go over. I thought for sure Harper and Roman were going over, but, they pulled a fast one on us. And now my question is, who's next? Who's next for the Usos to defend their tag titles against? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But for right now, chalk it up for the Usos. Big win, fantastic match, and one of the best tag team title matches in recent memory. Just recently, we had one of the best intercontinental matches, last Monday Night on Raw with Bad News Barrett and Dolph Ziggler. This one was just as good. But I think this one may have been just a little bit better, if I'm being honest with you. So, 3.5 to 3 3/4 stars. Fantastic way to start the pay-per-view, no doubt about it. You always want to get the crowd white hot going into a pay-per-view, and mission accomplished here. Although I was expecting the Money in the Bank contract match to start this pay-per-view off, but no avail. So with that said, let's move on to our next match. It was the first of two Divas matches on the card. This one was for the Divas Championship. It was Paige going up against Naomi. Winner of the match and still Divas Champion is Paige. And yes, I'm going to give this between 1.5 to 2 stars. This was definitely one of the better Diva title matches in recent memory. I do agree on that. Just watching Michael Fletcher's video off just a little while ago. Yeah, fantastic Divas match. I honestly thought the Cameron heel turn was going to happen here tonight, but, they're obviously slowly but surely building to it. It will happen eventually. Maybe it could happen tomorrow night on Raw. Maybe it could happen at the next pay-per-view Battleground. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But for me, this was a very good Divas match, one of the better Diva fights we've had in a while. I mean, it wasn't as special as Paige and Emma from the NXT Takeover or the one with Natalya and Charlotte from NXT Arrival. I mean, those two Diva matches, I mean, those are going to be hard to top, especially with the main roster. But anyways, 1.5 to 2 stars. Who's next for Paige? I don't know. Maybe it could be Cameron. I don't know. Jerry's out to lunch. We'll have to wait and see on that. So, with that said, let's move on to our next match. This was an impromptu match. It was Damian Sandow dressed as Paul Revere, God forbid, going up against the leader of the Rosebuds, Adam Rose. Rosebuds rejoice. Adam Rose gets the win. And honestly, I thought this match was going to be an absolute dud, mainly because you had Sandow in another goofy outfit. You know how I've been about that on the Wrestling Forum. I've been a lemon on that, if you will. But this match was actually a lot better than I initially thought. And I'm going to give this 2 stars. I'm going to give this a 2-star match because I thought this was actually a solid match. I did not think this was going to be anything special. I thought Rose was going to win in like 30 seconds, but no. This match almost got 5 minutes, and very surprising. There was some good action, some good near falls, and yeah, color me surprised. In fact, I'm going to call this the sleeper fight of the night. Go figure on that. So, 2-star match. So, nothing left to say on that. Let's just move on to our next match. This was the Money in the Bank contract ladder match. Bad News Barrett was supposed to be in this match, but he's not because he was injured, as you know, at the SmackDown tapings last week in Pittsburgh. Severe shoulder injury at the hands of Jack Swagger because of a bump into the barricade. And so we went from 7 down to 6. Participants as follows: Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Kofi Kingston, Rob Van Dam, Jack Swagger, and Dolph Ziggler. Winner of the match, Seth Rollins. 4 words, folks. Fight of the night. This was the fight of the night, without a doubt. We almost had a 5-star classic here. If it wasn't for the overbooking of Kane getting involved and screwing Dean Ambrose, I can honestly say, and I know Michael Fletcher would agree with me, this would have been a 5-star classic. No doubt about it. And this definitely would have been a serious contender for match of the year in WWE. But no, it didn't happen. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars for the effort. This was a fantastic ladder match, one of the best Money in the Bank ladder matches maybe ever. I mean, the bumps in this match are absolutely insane. The crowd was really into it. I mean, Kofi Kingston wowed us again. Ziggler, everybody had their moments, but when it comes down to it, there's nothing left to say except, one of the moments that I'll never forget was when Kofi Kingston backdropped Seth Rollins onto the ladder. Oh, and then how about Dean Ambrose superplexing Seth Rollins off the ladder? My goodness! And then Ambrose getting hurt during the match. He hurt his shoulder. It looked like he was out. He was really PO'd about it. Who can blame him? I would be too. And then he comes back and then nearly wins the thing. I thought he was going to win the thing, in all honesty. But then there's Kane, and then Kane takes out Ambrose, and then helps Seth Rollins claim the Money in the Bank contract. So, did the right guy win? Yes, the right guy won. But I just didn't like the way it happened. If it had been a clean win for Seth Rollins, then we would have been talking 5-star classic, without a doubt. But unfortunately, you know how we are about overbooked finishes. We got to deduct that. So 4.5 stars, but damn it to hell, this was the fight of the night. Bravo to all 6 men in this match. Damn good effort. And nothing left to say except very, very, very well done. And one of the best Money in the Bank matches of all time. Future Money in the Bank matches, to try to top that, yeah, good luck. That's all I can say about that. So 4.5 stars, fight of the night. Really nothing left to say except let's move on to our next match. It was a tag team matchup. It was Ryback going up against Goldust and Stardust. Winners of the match, Goldust and Stardust. Another okay match here. I'm thinking right around 2 to 2.25 stars for the effort. This was a TV quality bout. I'm being quite honest. There was some okay action here. It wasn't anything to really write home about, but this was your basic filler match, and that's really all there is to say about that. So, Cody Rhodes continuing to get over as the Stardust character. I'm still not crazy about it because of the unlimited potential that young man has. I've seen him wrestle for the last 7 years since he debuted, and he's had some great matches in the past, but the Stardust character just really isn't working for me. So I'm going to give this between at the least 2, maybe 2.25. I could even go as far down as 1.5. So I'm going to say maybe between 1.5 to 2.25 stars for this fight, because it was an okay match. It was really nothing special. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And we're just going to move on to the next match, which was Rusev going up against Big E. Winner of the match, Rusev. Yeah, no big surprise. Rusev won the match. This was another solid match. I'm going to give this another 2-star match. Because there was some good action here as well. We saw that vicious bump again, like we saw it last month at Money in the Bank when Big E and when he speared Rusev through the ropes in the ring and crashing down with the floor. That's a very risky move. Thankfully, nothing. Rusev didn't get serious. Big E didn't get hurt seriously during that, but I still thought it was a solid match, and I think this match was a little better than the match they had at Payback. But then again, I kind of felt it was going to be better going into this event. And Rusev had the accolade on, and I thought for sure maybe I was like, no way, is he actually going to break out of this thing? He almost did, but then he fell back down, and Rusev put more pressure on, and that was it. So Rusev wins, and yeah. So what's next for the Bulgarian Brute? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I'm gonna give this a solid 2 stars for the efforts, though. So with that said, let's move on to our next match. It was the second of the 2 Divas matches. It was Layla versus Summer Rae. Fandango as the guest referee. Winner of the match was Layla. Another lot to say here is that this was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. Then again, I kind of figured that was going to be the worst fight of the night when we did our preview last night with Fletcher. But yeah, this was terrible. I mean, this was your typical ho-hum diva fight. I mean, this was your bathroom break, cat nap type fight. I mean, this was shades of the old days with Terry Reynolds and the Cat when they used to have those matches. During the Attitude Era. I mean, a lot of those matches were terrible. I mean, it wasn't anything like that god-awful cat fight at WrestleMania 2000 where Val Venus was the referee with Terry Reynolds in the Cat. I mean, that was maybe the worst women's match ever. But this one definitely ranks up there as one of the worst women's matches of all time. This was terrible from start to finish. I mean, but then again, this is exactly what these kind of matches are supposed to do: give the crowd a breather. And I honestly would have put this match after the Money in the Bank contract match because this would have definitely killed the crowd, no question about that. I mean, they really needed a rest after that awesome match. So, absolute dud, worst fight of the night. Fandango and Layla, I guess they're together now. Summer was, heartbroken after the fight. And yeah, I don't know what's next for these 3, but I don't know why, but I got a feeling this ain't far. This is beyond far from over. So, with that said, let's just move on to the main event. It was the other Money in the Bank ladder match. This one was for the vacated WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was John Cena, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, Kane, and I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I think I got all the other participants down. But I think there was Orton, there was Kane, there was Cena, there was Wyatt, there was Reigns, Del Rio, Sheamus. Cesaro, that's the other one. I'm sorry about that. But now that we have all the participants, the winner of the match and the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena. Yeah. But I will say this though: second best fight of the night, 4 to 4.25 stars. This was another good Money in the Bank ladder match. I mean, it was nothing like the other match. I mean, the other match was an insane spot fest. This one was your typical ladder match. Only it had 8 guys in it. I mean. But it was a very good match from start to finish. I mean, there were a lot of good. I mean, there were some slow spots at the early going, but the action did pick up at the end. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a couple of. I normally don't do this on my end, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually gonna do it here. I got a couple. I'm gonna have a couple of memes for you regarding this match. 2 observations that I took from this fight. So if you could just bear with me for just one moment. I mean. But I do know this was it was a very good match, and no big surprise that John Cena won. I mean, you knew he was going to win it. I mean, he was the odds-on favorite going in, and but now the big question is it going to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? I think it's going to be. I mean, for that to happen, Cena had to go over, and no big surprise, he did. I mean. There were some moments where it looked like Randy Orton was going to win. Other moments it looked like Roman Reigns was going to win. I mean, everybody had their moments, but at the end of the day, the Golden Boy does it again. And one other observation going into this that if you noticed, that Randy Orton got cut up. He suffered a very nasty gash, and so with that said, I got this. I'm gonna have this first meme for you right here. This is a meme that I created. I think you're gonna like it. Yeah, here we go. Here's the first one for you. I mean, react how you will. Okay, here we go. Randy Orton is a Crimson Mask. That's not PG. No, indeed, it's not. That's not PG, folks. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know if my boys at the forum were here, they'd be laughing their heads off right now. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. Randy Orton got a nasty gash during the fight. He got bloodied up big time. A rare sight to see blood in the PG era of the WWE. I mean, this was almost something out of the Attitude Era, if I'm being honest. I mean, if you saw Randy Orton, I mean, man, oh man, he got cut up and he got cut up badly. I mean, wow. That's all I can say on that. And major big ups to him for continuing after suffering a gash like that. I mean, a lesser man would have been out of commission after that. But that just shows you how bad he wanted it. And then the other Mimi, well, this was pretty much expected. So here you go. Here's the other Mimi I got for you. I think you all saw this one coming from a mile away. All children of the world, you can all sleep well tonight because once again, your hero and the champ is here. That's right. John Cena, once again, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, 15-time world champion now is John Cena. I mean, he's now one behind the Nature Boy Ric Flair for the most world title wins all time. And yeah, he's the golden boy for a reason, folks. And yep, this was expected. I mean, he was the favorite going into this match. I read an article on one of the news sites today posting the odds, the betting odds for each match. And whereas Seth Rollins was the favorite in the contract match, John Cena was the overwhelming favorite in this fight. And no big surprise that he won it. I mean, it was expected. So, champ is here. Big question is, how long is this one going to last? We don't know. My guess is it's going to lead to Cena versus Lesnar at SummerSlam. You heard it here first. And if that's the case, I said it last night on the preview show. I'll say it again here tonight. If that fight happens, I expect Brock Lesnar to fully avenge the loss to John Cena at Extreme Rules 2012, that infamous Extreme Rules match they had, which was one of the most violent, brutal matches you will ever see. If you haven't seen it already, check it out on the network. But if it happens this time around, if Cena and Lesnar go at it for the belts at SummerSlam, no doubt in my mind, Brock Lesnar's walking out of that as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But Cena is pretty much going to just keep the titles warm from him for right now. So yeah. Overall thoughts on the pay-per-view, I'm going to give this between 8 to 8.25 out of 10. I thought this was a very good pay-per-view tonight. I think this was the third best pay-per-view. This is my number 3 pay-per-view of the year, as I still think Payback and, of course, WrestleMania 30 were better, if I'm being honest. Of course, both Money in the Bank ladder matches were phenomenal. The contract match was definitely the fight of the night. The championship ladder match was the number 2 fight of the night. And then rounding out the top 3, of course, the tag team title match with the Usos and Rowan and Harper. Those were easily the 3 best fights of the night. But then again, we all knew those 3 fights were going to be the show stealers. No question about that. And then you had some other good matches. You had a few solid matches. The matches with Adam Rose and Damian Sandow, Paul Revere, whatever. That was definitely the sleeper fight of the night. 2 to 2.25 stars there. Then you had a couple of other 2-star matches, including Rusev and Big E, the tag team match with Stardust and Goldust against Ryback, and then the Diva title match with Paige and Naomi, and then, of course, rounding out as the worst fight of the night, the only real lowlight of the night, of course, the other Diva match with Summer Rae and Layla. That was an absolute dud. That was horrific from start to finish. Absolute dud. The worst fight of the night. So 8 to 8.25 out of 10, I feel, is the appropriate rating for this pay-per-view. Another solid pay-per-view. And now, 3 weeks from tonight, we look forward to the Battleground pay-per-view in Tampa, Florida at the St. Pete Times Forum. I don't know how that's going to work out. Hopefully they only have 3 weeks to build this thing, so they're going to have to, start scrambling points for that pay-per-view. Could we get a title match with Cena? I don't know. Could Rollins cash in? I don't know. Could we get that long, rumored War Games match that Derek Forever's been preaching about for the last few months on the forum? I hope so, but I'm really not holding my breath on that. So would I like to see it? Absolutely, but I don't know if it will happen though. So that's going to do it for this. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I do apologize once again. As you know, I was supposed to do this with Michael Fletcher earlier, but like I said, due to technical difficulties beyond my control, I was unable to do that. but at least order's been restored on my end, and I was able to do this for you. I wanted to make sure that you got my thoughts on this and that you didn't get cheated out of this. You know how I am about that. So yeah, that's gonna do it here. So of course tomorrow night, I don't know what the plan is when it comes to the wrestling forum. It's only because Derek Ferrera is going to be going to the Paw Sox game tomorrow night at McCoy Stadium, and then the fireworks ceremony after that. I don't know if Derek Ferrera is going to be on the show. I don't know if Fletcher or myself are going to be doing a non-sanctioned show, doing our own Raw review like we did a couple weeks ago. Michael Bullock's on his family vacation. I don't know if he's going to be here, so we'll just have to wait and see. You'll just have to keep an eye on Derek Ferrera's page. I'm sure he'll have all the answers when it comes to that. So that's going to do it for this. So until hopefully Monday night, the Wrestling Forum, and of course one other note real quick, I just wanted to mention real quick now that I thought of it. Of course, Friday night, no Strictly Sports because of the 4th of July holidays. So I just want to let you know that. So now that's going to do it for me. So until hopefully tomorrow night for some form of Wrestling Forum show, it is ridiculously over Anthony Flutter saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up 14-4 style. Have a great night, everybody. And until tomorrow night, or hopefully some form of the Wrestling Forum, you've been watching the WWE Money in the Bank 2014 pay-per-view recap right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. And God bless and be good to you.